Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to my FM24 save here with Deportivo La Coruña. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 70. That's a lot of videos. And in today's video, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens. I decided after the last video that after realising we don't necessarily have to wait until the last game of the season to find out whether we win the title, we'll keep a bit of suspense as to what happens. So, I am not going to tell you what happens. You're going to have to find it out as we go. So we're going to show you some highlights of games, and then we will settle on whatever the game of the episode is going to be. Remember, the plan is that we're going to finish the league season today, followed by a Champions League final special in the next video. If we get through to it, that is. And if you're excited to see whether we do get to that, and if we do win the league and not bottle it, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me, and don't forget to subscribe as well. It's completely free to do so. You'll put a big smile on this face right here, and you'll hear more of the nonsense that comes out of it. What's not to love? So, I mean, if you haven't watched the save up until this point, I think I've said this previously, you left it a bit late, but welcome. Put your feet up, relax, hope you have a lovely time, and go and check out the playlist up in that top corner, just so you can catch up with everything. It's going to be a while until FM25 comes out, so you need something to tide you over while I watch this save. So, on with the highlights of the games since the last time you saw us. The last time that you saw us, and I'm very deliberately not showing you the game at the moment, the last time you saw us was Copa del Rey final that we won, obviously. So, that means that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 league games left, as well as the Champions League semi-final first and second leg. Yikes. And we're going to bring you back for the first leg of the Champions League semi-final, which was against our old nemesis, AC Milan. We've played these guys many times in this save. It's kind of fitting that we have them in the final season as well. The same with Inter earlier in the campaign as well. But this is a big one. Win this and we get through to our second ever Champions League final. Don't know if you remember the first one. We kind of won it. And to say this was a tense game is an understatement, but in the 15th minute, a short corner routine led to a big crossing. Herculano gets it down, and Jean-Pascal Ribel, the guy who replaced Herculano as a defender when Herculano moved to the half-back role in midfield, is the man to break the deadlock away from home at the San Siro, and we lead by 1-0. Again, short corner routine, we have them every now and then, it's not very often, but as you can see, it did wonders here. Lovely routine that was worked, and it is 1-0. And 1-0 it remained. That was literally it. We won that by 1-0 from that goal from Ribel. It was a very tight game. Milan probably feel a little bit aggrieved looking at the the statistics. I normally get those mixed up with the player screen. They had a shot more. The XG was higher. We did have more corners, but they had better possession and better passing as well. And they also committed a lot more fouls. Normally we're the naughty boys, so yeah, bit of a weird one, but I'll take it. I'll take an away win any day of the week in the Champions League. And we interrupt our regularly scheduled Champions League programme to bring you a league game against Real Madrid. Not like this was important or anything. We were having a pretty healthy lead in La Liga at this point, and on a pretty good run of form as well, so we knew we really needed to keep the pressure up against a team who we have beaten in the past, but it's always usually a bit tight. Also, remember, they have Eliawahi in their squad, and he's yet to score for them. That's quite funny. And we kick things off with a free kick for Sandoval, who whips it in, looking for Ribel. It's Ribel to Herculano. It's reverse of the goal against AC Milan, and we lead through Joe Herculano, who since he's become a defensive midfielder has become a bit of a Mr. Reliable, and I'm really, really happy about it as well. He was a little bit inconsistent as a defender, but we found his calling as a midfielder. It's a scrappy goal. I don't care how they go in, as long as they do. 1-0 to us. We nearly had a bit of a panic though. Rodrigo with this free kick. Jude Bellingham flicks it on. Archie Gray heads it into the goal. It does get checked, and the linesman's flag is up, so it does get disallowed. Spoilers here. I think if you play FM enough, you probably already know this, but it does get disallowed. It's still only 1-0, and we can breathe a little bit, but it's still very early in the game for that sort of nonsense to be happening. But it was a country mile offside. But that was not the end of the action before half-time. We're passing it around nicely here, but we do give away possession quite cheaply. Tchouameni gets it to Rodrigo. Rodrigo bides his time, waiting for the right pass. Just keeps running with the ball. Ends up switching wings completely. cuts inside to the box and decides he doesn't need to pass, he just needs to score. And all of a sudden it is 1-1. I then panic and decide to do a bit of tactical fiddling because I'm a little bit annoyed at the goal. But we have practically just let Rodrigo walk the ball into our net. That did disappoint me. And at this point I did think, were we potentially going to start bottling this? We're a long way ahead to bottle this, but all it takes is one loss for that to start happening. It's a really nice goal though, but we could have made it tougher for him. But that was not the end of the script. We were making some tactical changes here on the 81st minute. We come back to a highlight with us in possession with Arno Martinez at right back. And we just watch it go. Levine runs down that wing, gets to Joe Veloso. Veloso goes back to Herculano. Herculano with a pass to Hlajek. Hlajek starts this move off, gets it to Veloso here, who drops deep, gets it into Salvador. Salvador out wide to Ilic. It's worth noting that Hlajek is playing as a shadow striker, and he does that job so well when we need him to. If we think we just need a bit of extra oomph in the attack, we sometimes will just put him on in there, or we'll move it to a three-striker system. He did that here. We actually cancelled the changes we were about to make, and we do actually go ahead against Madrid. Yes, it's at home. I don't care. We lead against Los Blancos, and that is a good feeling. It's a very good feeling. Oh my word. I was convinced this would be a draw at most, if I'm being completely truthful to you. Yes, it's at home. Yes, we've been very good this season, but Real Madrid, we can beat them, but they do sometimes seem to be a bit of a banana skin. Barcelona oddly have been a bit more of a challenge this season, although I think we have lost against both of them at different points. But this felt like a really satisfying victory, and yeah, really happy with that one. Really happy indeed, and it really helped us out in the league as well. But then it came time for the second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League. Of course, leading by that single goal to nil from the away leg in the first leg. This time it's us at home, and we either have to build on what we've got, or we have to try and save it from an AC Milan team who will be desperate to get to a Champions League final. It's our job to stop them from getting there. And the answer of who drew first blood was answered in the 32nd minute. Ilic gets it to Salvador from a throw-in. It's not Salvador, it's Sandoval. I always get those two mixed up when I see their names. Either way, the point is Ilic gets the ball back. I think goes for a shot. You be the judge of this. I think Ilic is shooting here, but he ends up going through Johnny Salvador. Nearly called him Sandoval, but you can see Sandoval does pass it back to Ilic. Ilic comes in here, and I'm convinced this is a shot, but Salvador gets in the way and makes it 1-0 on the night. And just to top things off in the first half, shenanigans. Salvador gets a ball through to Johnny Salvador, who initially ignores it, but then remembers that he actually should really get on it. And then he's tackled down here. He goes down like he's been shot, Johnny Salvador. I mean, spoilers, he's not injured. He's play acting there. I should be really disappointed in him, but I'm not, because it's kind of funny. But after a quick review, it is given as a penalty, and Johnny Salvador will step up to take it. Now, remember what I said about him not being very good at penalties? Bear that in mind with this penalty. It's not the worst penalty you've ever seen, but it very much does not go in the back of the net. It's not a great penalty, to be fair. Vicario makes a quite easy save, and that is half-time. But after half-time, we resolved to carrying on doing what we were doing in the first half, and that's putting the pressure on Milan. Sacha Bowie gets the ball, begins to run down the right side, but puts a lovely ball through to Joe Veloso. And Joe Veloso decides he wants in on the action and makes it 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate, and a place in the Champions League final practically has our name on it. We start with Silva at the back here, who gets it to Bowie. Bowie then carries the ball a little bit down that right. He's not on the touchline. He's actually quite infield a little bit. But then he just plays a lovely ball through to Veloso, and it's 2-0 or 3-0. And 10 minutes later, we decide we want to do it again. The goalkeeper clears the ball out, but they just don't keep possession, Milan. We end up getting the ball, pass it around, and Veloso gets it through to Litskas, who makes a break from the midfield, who's playing as the Mazzala today. We actually moved him and Sandoval around. I can't remember whether you already know that or not, but we actually moved them around. And Litskas breaks from midfield superbly and makes it 3-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. Really good movement here from Litskas to get into that position. You can see he's just waiting to make the run. Veloso dropping deep makes the space for him. That's the beauty of having him as a deep lying forward. But that is not the end of the action. It's a really bit of loose possession from Milan. It gets ping-ponged around a little bit before that, actually. But we get the ball, Bo whips it in. And again, Adam Lajek, who just comes off the bench just to do wonderful things, makes it 4. It's 5-0 overall, including the first leg. We've got a Champions League final to prepare for, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, can we win it again? Oh, I hope so. It's a lovely cross, by the way. Sasha Bowie's such a good cross to the ball, but Adam Lajek, what a super sub-striker he is. I mean, I don't want to invoke the name of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is quite possibly one of the best super sub-strikers in football history. But Adam Lajek, I tell you what, I mean, I'm not going to go click on him because I don't want to risk spoiling anything, but he has been a little superstar for us every time we've needed him. He's had moments of unreliability, but as a super sub and as someone to throw on when we just need someone to kind of take over, especially in the air, he's an absolute demon. Chef's kiss. Now, the following game is another league game against Athletic Bilbao. It's not necessarily one I'd normally show you, especially with the form that they're in, but it occurred to me before this game that this is the first game where we had the message saying that we could win the title. So, we went into this one with a little bit of pressure. But pressure forms diamonds. Rebel gets to Sandoval, who gets to Veloso, balls through to Johnny Salvador, and in the 3rd minute of a potential title decider, Johnny Salvador decides he wants to go and score a goal. It does get checked by VAR. They can't find anything wrong with it because there's nothing wrong with it. It's a glorious thing to see, and it all starts from Rebel in this move. Again, Sandoval to Veloso to Salvador, quick passing, speeding things up. The two playmaker S players working together, and we lead against Bilbao. And in the 18th minute, we decide we want more. Sandoval to Litzkas. Litzkas runs with it a little bit, gets it out wide to Bojan Ilic, where, again, a lot of our goals have come from this season. And Arthur Baskakov, who we have fallen out with, decides he wants to put that to the side for the moment because he wants a winner's medal. And who wouldn't? What a lovely thing to have. It's 2-0 in the 18th minute. It's not necessarily game over, but it is looking that way with how early we've got this 2-0 lead. Ilic into Baskakov. Baskakov's got loads of time. The defence are in disarray. And it's even deflected in just to inflict a little bit more pain onto Athletic Bilbao. Now, we could have chosen to take things easy, but what's the fun in that? Sandoval whips it in, looking for Rebel, who flicks it on, and it ends up getting in the back of the net from Jason Rengifo, who, of course, ended up becoming one of our main centre-backs. He's not necessarily starting all the time, but he's certainly in the squad and getting subbed on quite a lot, and also starting a fair few games, and he's looking like a bit of a superstar to us. And he's right there, showing the ability that means that he can play as an attacking midfielder. Why that's one of his positions, I still will never know. But that was not it. Bilbao tried to come out of their defence from an attack. They do a really bad job of it and give us possession back. And we start to build up again. Lovely ball from Sandoval. Baskakov just looking a bit more like the player he was earlier in the season before the fallout. Gets his 2nd of the game. Gets our 4th of the game. And the title is literally within inches of our fingertips. It is very much the case of being in our own destiny in this game. We need to win in order to get the title confirmed in this match. And, well, we're on our way to doing that. That's not to say we didn't give ourselves a couple of scares along the way. It's whipped in from a corner. And, well, I mean, it's not the best defending. The corner taker ends up scoring. However, it is disallowed for offside. A bit of relief for us. We wait for the referee to have a chat with VAR, but it is given as a disallowed goal. I actually go off the screen completely. A little bit in panic, but also because I saw the flag go up as well. So I knew it was offside. I wasn't worried too much about it. And I just thought, let's just do what we can to freshen the team up, just to try and avoid anything silly like that from happening again. Silly like giving a penalty away? Well, yeah. The game was struggling at this point. It had been playing for quite some time, so I think my computer just needed a bit of a rest. But you saw it jutted there a little bit. But Adam Arsnu did, well, commit a foul. There's no two ways about it. He did. And it was giving us a penalty. It said as dubious decision in commentary. I'm okay with that. I actually ended up going on that screen for some reason. I don't quite know why. But it's stepped up by Williams, who ends up burying it and makes it 4-1. Which, that should be fine. We shouldn't need to worry about that. Right? Haha, yeah, you'd think. Rengifo is the next one who's a bit of a naughty boy. Gives away another penalty. The game is really struggling on this recording. It's the first time I've watched this part of it back. And it is really, really not hanging in there well. But we do give away another penalty. It's Nico Williams who's going to step up and take it again. I mean, the game obviously wants us to win the title, which is why it's juttering. But Williams does score again, makes it 4-2. And although there's only 3 minutes of added time, I'm a tiny bit nervous at this point. Just a tiny bit. But I needn't be, because we finally, after 93 minutes, get to the end of the game and we win La Liga for a 4th straight time. This is the reason why I didn't want to show you the screen. I didn't want to confirm that we'd already won the title, because my thinking was, if we've already won the title, there's no point in actively playing any more league games because we've already done it. Now, we have got a game against Barcelona coming up. It would be silly not to show you some highlights of that, but there's no point in playing it live because we've got a Champions League final to play. Yeah, you heard me. We are going to be playing the Champions League final in this video, but we've got one more game to look at so far beforehand. But before we do that, just a quick look at the match stats and everything. A very even game, actually, in the end. We kind of let things go towards the end of it. That first 60 minutes, we were just dominant on them. But we knew the title was kind of done, and that kind of let us slip back to some kind of not very good, not very professional ways, and we just kind of let things go, which was not ideal. But if we're going to do it, we might as well do it when we're 4-0 up, so that's something at the very least. Right, on to the Barcelona game. Is it bad that the main reason I wanted to do the Barcelona game and record it is for this? Because Barcelona have to give us a guard of honour. I am nothing if not a little bit childish. Now, we've all had games like this at the end of the season when the title's already confirmed, where everything kind of goes a bit wrong, but it's okay because there's nothing up for grabs. Yeah, my lads did not want to see it like that. They decided they wanted to go full pelt. We managed to steal the ball off of them, and we get the ball into the box. It's actually a bit of poor defending from them, and Johnny Salvador, being the man that he is, gets his 55th of the season and makes it 1-0 in the 10th minute. Say it with me. It's Johnny Salvador doing Johnny Salvador things, and I absolutely love it. Again, it's kind of cool from Baskakov. Natinho kind of fouls him though, but he also lets the ball run. So that one's kind of on Barcelona. Haha, this one though, this is all Johnny. We win the ball, we manage to steal it off of them. Wow. If you've ever seen a goal to signify that a player is the best in the world, I want you to show me it, on Football Manager anyway. An absolute worldie that the scumbag of a referee tries to disallow, or the linesman anyway. But we managed to avoid that horribleness. Herculano with the ball in Salvador, doesn't even need to run, he just hoofs it. What a strike that is, and what a player it is who hit it. And for the rest of the game, nothing really happened until the 70th minute. We start with a goal kick, we build from the back, Bowie gets it forward for Vitrini in what is going to be one of his final appearances for us. What a great cameo he's had all season. We pass it around a little bit. Baskakov goes to Vitrini, into Johnny Salvador, and he makes it 3 and gets himself a hat-trick against Barcelona. Because he can just do that. What an absolute madman he is. Immediately after that goal, I make some changes just to freshen things up. We don't need Salvador on the pitch anymore. Make those few changes. And immediately, as I come back, Pedri pulls one back in the 71st minute. Literally from kickoff, 1 minute later. So I missed this completely as a result. So we'll watch it together on the highlight. So Kutlu, who we tried to sign in the summer, gets it to fair away. Doesn't actually. Sandoval clears it out, but gets it to Pedri. And Pedri does get a slight deflection on it. The goalkeeper's probably going to be a bit harshly judged there, but the deflection takes it away from him, and it is 3-1. But that was that. We dominated them, absolutely dominated them, which is really, really good because Barcelona have been one of the kind of teams that really challenged us for most of the season. They actually fell away towards the end of it, and it ended up being Real Madrid. But you saw what we did to them earlier in the, well, not in this episode. No, it wasn't this episode. I nearly forgot then. But we did dominate them. It was really nice to see. Well, I say dominate. Their passing and possession was better, but we had more shots. That's the moral victory. The XG is the moral victory. A Johnny Salvador hat-trick, though, what's not to love about that? And that is how the league season has ended up. We have, since losing against Real Betis in the semi-final second leg, 1-0, we've not looked back. We've got a team. Remember, the kind of nexus of this team has been go and find wonder kids and try our best to hang on to them. And we've been fortunate enough that before we had them, we had a good solid base of good players who worked together as a team, who could then be replaced by those wonder kids when they were ready. You look at the likes of Herculano, you look at the likes of Salvador when we brought him in. He was already finished products, really, to be honest with you. But the likes of Litzkas when we brought him in, Sandoval as well. We've brought in Illich too. There's so many good young wonder kids that we've brought in. There's also some really good real players as well that we've brought in as well. I mean, we'll never forget the contributions of Lord Chris Furich for the save. But before we get on to the obvious thing in the video, we'll just quickly have a look at the league table and just see how things shook out. So we ended up winning 34 of our games, drawing 2, losing 2. The best record in the league. We had 130 goals for, 33 against. We had the joint third best defence in the league. So still Barcelona and Real Madrid had us pegged on defence. Real Madrid's defence was ridiculous considering they didn't win the title and they didn't win it by 9 points. That's a madness. But 130 goals, I think, is shocking. We've managed to do that. It really is. That makes for some reading. Relegated teams, in case you care, are Almeria, Alaves and Granada. Quick mention to our B team. We're not fully finished in this B team season yet, but they are currently in 8th. So they're solidly a kind of tier 2 team now, which is really good to see. They'll obviously never get promoted, but it's good to see that they're avoiding relegation. Remember, they did get promoted to this league once and got relegated the next season, so it's good to see. In terms of the profile of the season, well, it's our world basically, other than clean sheets. Salvador with 37 goals out of the 38 games on offer. He didn't play all 38 though, so that's a heck of a record. And if he didn't exist, Joe Veloso would have been the Golden Boot winner and second place with 23 goals. He got the same amount as Jude Bellingham. To be fair, Jude Bellingham did get those playing in midfield. Joe Veloso was playing as a striker, even though he's a midfielder. Salvador was the best player in the league, followed by Vitrini. What a half a season this lad's had, by the way. 5 starts, 11 sub-appearances, 10 goals, 4 assists. I mean, utter madness. Utter madness, but never scored in the Champions League, so maybe he's better as a league player. But this is someone who I would very much, if we were carrying on, be looking to sign, because he's had an incredible half a season for us. And Baskakov ended up getting the assist chart, which is the first time I think we've had someone, at least for a while, get first on this. But you can see Levine, Maria, Hlajek all in a shout with that as well, which is good to see. I will just show you the goalkeeper one. To be fair, Estes is not too far away. He's joint 5th, 14 clean sheets. Canizares was far out with 25. The next one was 17. So he was in a shout with everyone else. It's kind of like the goal scoring one if we're going to compare it. But that's a heck of a league phase. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is the Champions League final. Now, just to quickly show you Barcelona, obviously, they were doing quite well at one point in the league and it all kind of capitulated a little bit. If we just show you their schedule just to show what happened. The end of their season has been woeful. So, they beat Manchester City 4-0 in the first leg at the Nou Camp. But it then all kind of fell apart a little bit after that. They lost against Madrid in the league. Obviously not ideal. They then lost 2-0 in the second leg at the what's going to be classed as the City of Manchester Stadium, the Etihad. They then lost 2-1 against Betis. We then stuffed them. And on the final day of the season, Girona beat them 5... No, they beat Girona 5-0. I was going to say Girona beat them 5-0. That would have been ridiculous. But no, Girona got beat 5-0. So they did pick things up at the end. They also lost against Atletico Madrid. I missed that completely. But that is a horrendous kind of end to the season with something just to rubber stamp it, just to try and make it look a little bit better. Now, in terms of their actual Champions League schedule, let's have a quick look at that and just see what their route was like. And we'll have a quick look at ours before we go any further. They started things off with Shakhtar. That's a reasonable one to start off with. Napoli was next. They won both of those. You could argue they could have won them a bit better being Barcelona. Got stuffed by Newcastle at St James's Park. 2 wins for them against Anderlecht, and then funnily enough Manchester City, who we struggled against at different points. Inter Milan was next, who beat them 2-0. Fenerbahce and Sporting were their final 2 games, and then they went through to the knockouts. Of course, they avoided the playoffs like we did. Bayern Munich beat them over 2 legs. Paris Saint-Germain struggled in the first leg but beat them in the second, and then Manchester City won enough so that the loss in the second leg didn't affect them, which leads them till now. Now, before we go any further, I do just want to draw your attention to a few things that are kind of award related. So we actually have won a few different things in regards to how things have gone. I just now need to find them, which I'm not going to be able to find as well. It's all to do with La Liga. It's also the Euros as well. Team of the season. Our defence is pretty much the defence of the season other than goalkeeper. Litzkas is midfielder. One of the midfielders of the season. And of course, Johnny Salvador is one of the strikers of the season. We are the manager of the year. Lovely. Goalkeeper of the year, we're nowhere near. That's one area we definitely could have improved upon. Salvador is the top goal scorer. We knew that. But also the player of the year. Joe Veloso getting second on that one. Really good to see. There was something else. I can't remember what it was. But there was definitely something else. I just can't remember how far down it was. There we go. Sandoval. He won Spanish League Young Player of the Year. He's been sensational. He really has been. He's like turned into a proper squad player to the... I don't really know how else to describe it. We were having him as a rotation player, and at some point we needed to get him in the team because of how well he played. And that meant finding a way to get him and Litzkas in the team, which we finally did, which I'm really happy about. Right, that's the final thing I want to show you. Champions League final o'clock. We've had one of these before. It was against Bayer Leverkusen. We won it. This is very different. This is against a top team. No offence, Bayer Leverkusen. This is going to be the biggest challenge of the save. It is a big game against a big team. We've beaten Barcelona in big games before. This is the biggest of the big, and this is the 11 we're going to be trusting to do it. It's our strongest 11 that we can put out there. Restes is in goal. We've got Bowie, Silva, Rebel, and Ilic in defence. We've then got Herculano, Litzkas, Sandoval, and Baskakov in the middle. And then Veloso and Salvador start, but Salvador, does need a rest. I did try and give him a rest. I gave him a 3-day rest, but he needed more apparently. And on 59 goals and 8 assists, he is not fully fit for the biggest game of the season. Yikes. Danny Boedo is out of the game. We're not too worried about that. It's Danny Boedo. It doesn't really matter anymore. And Arda Güler is out of the game due to injury. Adam Hlojek, I think, did pick up an injury. I'm pretty sure that I gave him an injection, but it's not showing up on here, which is a little bit odd. Other than that, everyone's fully fit. Everyone's raring to go. Baskakov could probably do with a little bit of a break. He's not going to get one. The moment has arrived. It is... for the second time in the save, Champions League final o'clock. And you know what that means. It's tie o'clock as well. We're going to be doing this properly. We are going to be doing this properly. He says, after not actually having the tie ready. I know this was going to be its own separate video. Why bother doing that? Let's just get everything done and get everything sorted now. So that is our 11. I am very happy with the team that we put together. I'm very happy with that being the final team of this save as well. We know where we could improve. Goalkeeper's the first area. Defence is the other one. I am quite happy with what we've got. They're playing a left back at left wing. Should I feel proud about that? I do a little bit, actually, if I'm honest. First place in La Liga versus third place in La Liga. Goes without saying, this is a big one. This is a real big one. We're already a club legend. This is just postscript. And what a postscript season it would be if we can go a season winning every trophy on offer. The only one we won't have won is the UEFA Super Cup. I'm not bothered about that one, to be honest with you. I'm really not. Let's do this. Come on, boys. Right. It is on neutral turf. At the moment, Barcelona are on top looking at everything. They're dominating us, actually. So we need to kind of get in there a little bit. They really struggled against us in the league game. So it's kind of surprising to see them come out the gate so quickly. We do need to be wary of that. And we need to be ready to be reactive if we need to be. I'm considering a couple of things already. And one of those things is going in hard on a lot of their players if we can. And just changing that on our tactics, because they are all over us at the moment. We might also slow our tempo down to try and get a bit more of the ball, because they're controlling the ball at the moment and their passing is a bit better. So maybe we come out in the second half, we slow things down a little bit, because that first half was a bit atrocious, actually. It was not even a highlight. What is that all about? I'm actually going to say that one. I'm disappointed about the possession. We're going to tell these guys that they need to calm themselves down, and then Bowie, not having a great game. I mean, to be fair, none of the attackers will be because they can't get on the ball. I'm going to say that to all of them. I'm actually disheartened Joe Veloso. Hopefully that doesn't break him completely. Good to see Restes having a good game, though. Right. Yellow-carded players. We're not risking anything. Ease off. You. Ease off. You. Ease off. We've got an injury as well, I've just realised. And that's going to be to... It's going to be Sandoval. Oh, that's not what we need at all. Right. Maria is going to come on. I'm also going to take off Litzka. No. Do we take Litzka off? Yeah, do you know what? Because Levine can be a bit of a pocket rocket from the bench. We will do that. I'm going to take Rui Silva off just because I don't trust him. And we'll bring Rengifo on. So we're going to make 3 changes. I'm going to leave everything else as it is. I am going to... Well, the tempo's already a bit lower. I am going to turn our passing down a little bit. I'm going to leave everything else as it is for now. Or do I? Or do I change anything? I mean, we got dominated in that first half, but we kept it at 0-0. But we need to start fighting back now, so we need to start pushing back at them. So I feel like turning the tempo up isn't going to help us too much, but we were starting to get a bit better as the half went on. So maybe we leave that, and maybe we double down on that, and we try and put some early crosses in to get these 2 on the end of them. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. And we'll just G these 3 up as well. Right, and then we're going to fire the boys up. Right, they've brought Ferran Torres on. Let's just double check our position instructions and just see. So, they brought on Torres, who I think we roughed up in the last game. We did. We went in hard on him. Baldy's not having the best of games. Araujo's actually having a decent game at the moment. None of their players really are overly playing well, but we're just negating each other at the moment, but they're having the better of the chances. So we need to kind of stop that where we possibly can. If we can, obviously. We're going to go in hard on both of the wingers. And also Vitor Roque, because I don't think Vitor Roque is very... do you know what? We'll leave him as it is. We'll just go in hard on the 2 centre midfielders and the 2 fullbacks as well. We probably need to keep an eye on Ilic. So we'll turn him on to ease off tackles. And we'll go with that. Right. Come on, boys. Let's step up and get a bit better in this second half. Right, we have a highlight. When Gifo on the ball gets it to Levine. Levine, it's a poor pass to Veloso. Never gets to him. And Harto now coming forward, playing at left back today, whipping it in. He's looking for Ferran Torres. Restes heads it down. It's such a scrappy save. We end up getting away with it, though. We end up getting away with it. Johnny Salvador having a really bad game. Disappointing. I want him to get a 60th goal of the season. It's not going to happen, I don't think. We are going to have to take him off because he's having such a poor game. I'm going to bring Vitrini on. And I don't really want to make my final change yet, just in case there's an injury. I'm going to risk it and we'll go for it. Baskakov off. Hlajek on. We know what Adam Hlajek can do. We're going to fire up the boys. We're going to leave it. I'm not going to touch anything until we've had this highlight. Right, Ilic. Into Hlajek. Hlajek into Joe Veloso. It's a bit of a heavy touch. Goes out wide to Bowie. Whips it in. Looking for Vitrini, who's good in the air. Can't quite get on the end of it. Hlajek can't get there either. Herculano now. Gets it out wide to Sasha Bowie. Bowie. It's a poor pass. Does he win it back? He does. Just about. Beats Balde. Right. All the way back to Rengifo. Rengifo now. Waiting for the right pass. Goes back to Restes. I would be going out left here to Ilic. He doesn't. He goes to Rebel. That's fine. He went to someone in space. Right. Restes. Rebel. Into Maria. Maria to Hlajek. Hlajek. Hacked down there. The referee's coming over. Is that a red card for... It is. It's a red card for Araujo. We have a man advantage. We're firing the boys up on that one. Get in there on them. They've gone with a diamond as well. That's an interesting way for them to go. Right. We now have a huge opportunity. Ilic with a throw-in. Maria. Into Ilic. Ilic into the box to Joe Veloso. The hero of many parts of the save. It's actually been deflected out. It's a corner. Right. Corner to us. Levine is the one who's going to take it. He's got Maria for support. Will he go short? He doesn't. Whips it in. Looking for John... I'd call him John Herculano. His name is not that at all. But it's actually been saved or deflected again. It's another corner. And it's Maria this time to take. Will he go short? Will he go long? Levine did not go short. Maria does not either. He was looking for Hlajek, couldn't find him. Right, Rengifo keeps it alive, but the highlight ends. Right, another highlight, another corner. Levine whips it in, looking for the head of someone. Vitrini goes for the shot. Rengifo! It's hit the crossbar! Oh! It's hit the crossbar! we've come alive in this second half. The red card's changed everything. Right, fire the boys up. Do we go attacking? I feel like that's a risk that we're not going to take. We're not going to go attacking. We're going to leave it as it is. But they've got a highlight, and I don't like the fact that they've got a highlight. Right, Balde. That's 10 men as well. Oh, Pedri, who scored against us in the last game. Kounde! Oh, he's broken our hearts! It's Jules Kounde, the defender. Right. No, we don't have the time. Right. We're not messing about. It's 1-0 to Barcelona in the Champions League final. I'm not having this. They're not taking this from us. We've been the better team in the second half. I'm not going to sit here and say we've been the better team. We've absolutely not been. They've been all over us. But I'm not having this. Right. Here's what's going to happen. Hlajecki's now going to go up front. I've decided. Veloso's going to go in between them. We're going to have you as another attacking-minded player. We're going to pop you. In fact, we're going to do something that we have done a few times. Pop you two up there as supporting. And then you guys are now going to go attacking fullbacks. Both of you. And Herculano can stay there to marshal the defence. That's what we're going to do. It's utter nonsense. But we need to do something. I mean, this has worked. But it's now starting not to work. So we're going to go out to the fullbacks as well. And I'm going to take focus down the middle off. Oh my word. Barcelona lead. We've got 5 or 6 in-game minutes left. All of the highlights for us. We were putting so much pressure on them. And then it's a pass from Pedri to Kounde. And it just, no one comes out to greet him. And now we have barely any time left. Right, kickoff. We've scored from the kickoff recently. Can we do it again? It's such a poor pass. It's such a poor pass. Right. Barcelona, we've given them possession cheaply. I think the wind's been knocked out of us here. Can we get the ball off of them? Can we steal it? Right. Retsos. It's a pour from Retsos. Hlajek. Levine. That was the chance. I've seen highlights like that before when a mistake's made. We don't take advantage of it. Right, we're waiting for him to make another mistake here. I love the fact that my boys are surrounding him. Right, it's launched forward. Bowie into Levine. Levine to Maria. Maria is going to be the winger now. Looking to loop it through into Veloso. Into Levine! And it's 1-1! In the 86th minute! And Ibrahim Levine played for Barcelona last season on loan. He was a super sub for them. And he puts the ball in the back of the net for us against them. Get in there, boys. It's 10-11. I shouldn't be that loud. I apologise to my neighbours. I also kind of don't care. Oh, my word. And is there another twist? It's a free kick to Barcelona. We're not going to change the tactic. That could be a mistake. We're not going to change it. I am tense. I am so tense. Right, they're giving the ball away. Can we do anything? Rebel goes out wide to Ilic. He's got Vitrini there. Vitrini floats it in. Looking for Adam Hlajek. And it's Adam Hlajek in the 91st minute. And the fairy tale might actually be coming true. Ilic, he's knackered. He doesn't run. He gets the ball to Vitrini. And Vitrini doesn't really do dribbling. He whips it in first time. And it's the super sub himself, Adam Hlajek, who's made it 2-1. Right. We have got 2.5 minutes of added time left in game. What do? I'll tell you what we do. We batten down the hatches. That's exactly what we do. We batten down the hatches. Right. You go there. You go there. You go there. You go there. We've done something like this before. You can go on support. You can be that on support. And then you can go and drop down to Shadow Striker again. And Vitrini, do you know what? You can be a target forward. No, I'll tell you what. You can be deep line forward. Let's do that. We're just going to launch it to you, to be honest. Distributes target forward. It should still hit him. We're going to do that. We're basically just going to go route 1 now. I'm not apologising for it whatsoever. We are going to get stuck in as well. I don't remember adding now. Whether that was already on there or not, I don't know. Right. We're going to do that. I'm going to keep on attacking, though, because that's worked for us. But we've got barely any time left before we have to start worrying. Get in there, boys. Oh, I'm so happy about that. The final game of the save. And this feels better than the first one. We beat a proper team in a proper European final. For the second time, we've won the Champions League in this save. That is insane. In 9 seasons, what we've done with this club is nuts. We'll talk about that more. I am going to do a wrap-up video, but we will talk about that more in that. But when you stop and think about it, the fact that this isn't even the first time we've won this trophy is utterly mind-blowing. Look at the state of that formation. Oh, my word. I mean, let's be clear. It all changed when they had the red card. But that gave us the door to get into it. And we thought we'd thrown it away. They dominated us possession-wise and passing-wise. But it ended up not mattering. It ended up not mattering whatsoever. I mean, you can see the touch map here. They were all over the place here. We really stayed in the middle. I think it's fair to say. Did we get a bit lucky there? Yeah, but you know what? You deserve a bit of luck every now and then. I think. Oh, boy. Well, Champions League. We'd already won it. We've won it again. Tick. There's nothing we haven't done in this save that I was thinking could be possible. The only thing we haven't done is a Club World Cup, and I'm quite content with that. I don't care about the Club World Cup. I really don't. It annoys me. Wow. Champions League final twice. And Champions League win twice. Sandoval's, it doesn't matter. We get some money. We get some medals. 2 times in 3 years. That's exactly it. Because last season we got to the semis and got knocked out. But the season before we won it. Board are delighted. Players are tired. Don't really care. Got more money. Got more money. Paid some bonuses out. There's a review. How we're not the biggest overachievers again, I don't know. Players are suspended. I don't care. Lads, I don't know if you're aware. I'm not going to be your manager. Just bear that in mind. Wow. Wow. I don't really know how to sum that up. That's insane. I also don't know where I've thrown my tie. It's behind the computer. It's behind my second monitor there. My one monitor's there with the game on. My one over here that's got OBS. It's behind there somewhere. No idea where it is. I'll probably find it in 6 months when I need it again for another cup final and another save. Well, that's that. That's the final game that we're ever going to play with Deportivo La Coruña. Genuinely, it is. 70 episodes, and we have not only taken the club back to La Liga, but we have taken it back to La Liga and established it as one of the best teams, I think, at this point in the world. Shows what the media knows. They predicted me to finish 3rd in La Liga. Wow. We are a legend. We've been a legend for some time. You can see us on the list along with Jean-Carlos Valeron, who the new stadium's named after. You can see Johnny Salvador on the list as well, which is good to see. Joe Veloso is a favourite personnel. Lord Chris Fury, which only ever made it to icon level, which is baffling. How's he doing? I'm kind of gutted he never won a Champions League with us, if I'm honest, but at least he did win La Liga. Did he? No, he did, I think. Did he win a Champions League? He did, didn't he? He did win a Champions League. Ignore me. He did. He won the first one. Wow, he gets to watch us do it again. We did it without him, so that's something. I'm waffling because I don't really know what to do. I'm not very good at the end of saves. I'm going to do a season review, as I said, and we'll talk about the save as a whole. We'll quickly go through everything in that video about kind of how the save has gone and what my feelings are on it. And then in that video, we'll also talk about what's going to be coming on the future of the channel. I've already talked about it before. We'll properly talk about it, and I actually need to start making it. So I'm excited to get something new going, but I am going to miss this save. This save has been so much fun. I'm going to miss this man more than anything. What an absolute hero. I am going to miss playing this save, though. It's been sensational. It's been really fun, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well, because I know I have. Right, we'll wrap things up in a video, just summing the season up and summing the save up. But for now, I'm going to go and have a bit of a chill. I say that, I'm probably just going to record the wrap-up video now, because you know, I'm here. I might as well. But delighted is not even the word. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, if you didn't, let me know how and why. But if you have, please don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe as well. And I'm going to go and lie down. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you for the wrap-up video. Cheers.